Hey guys, welcome back to my video. And if you're new here, welcome to my art channel. For today, this video is going to be a little review on some alcohol markers, specifically Five Below alcohol markers. I didn't recently, this was actually a couple months ago. I stopped by Five Below because I'm really cheap and also because I have a healthy diet of huge bags of candy and they really sell them cheap there. I usually stop by the art and office section and saw these beauts hanging up on the wall, disguised by all the other messy art supplies because for some reason people in the store are like animals and they ransack through the art section. These were the only two that were available there that I saw, which is the 12 alcohol ink markers, flesh tones and grays, and then 12 alcohol ink markers assorted colors. And I got these for $5, as you can probably see from the $5 label on here. I have no idea why would they call it ink markers. It technically is ink, but I've never seen a brand actually call it alcohol ink markers. Maybe it's just me, I didn't look at it specifically. It was kind of a surprise to see Five Below make some alcohol markers. Unless it was going through the craze of the alcohol markers, because some brands got really crazy about that because of the Copic markers and the Prismacolor markers. I really wanted to test these quality because for $5 and 12 alcohol markers, I really didn't believe it was a thing. And also I can't really trust if this is actually Five Below brand because it doesn't really say a brand on it. It's just a clear plastic and it just says some inspirational words on it, which is kind of cute. But it doesn't say a brand or anything, so I assume it's Five Below. Well, at least we know that we got 12 markers and for $5. That's just the main thing here. Now, let's get into swatching these markers. First, I started labeling the name of the set on the swatch sheet. Very messily, I might add. I am sorry you have to witness my chicken scratch handwriting. I could write neater, but let's be honest, we're never gonna really see this swatch sheet ever again. Am I the only artist in history who makes a swatch sheet and straight up loses it the first few days they make it? And make little smaller swatch sheets when they are making a piece? No, I'm not by myself on this? Then leave a like on this video so we can all be honest with ourselves. Now, onto the markers. I tried lining up the markers based on their color on the strip on the outside. However, later on you will see that the colors do not match the color on the ink on the inside. It was so bad that the grades were not even close together on the swatching list. Like, look at that WG4. It looks a little bit more brown than a regular warm gray. Is it just me? Compared to the Copic marker warm gray, it's a lot more brown, which is kind of unusual for me. I don't know, let me know if that's something regular or not new. So far, that's the only issue that I ran into with these markers. Colors not matching their color strips on the outside, and colors looking a little bit off. Overall, they laid down smoothly, they are pigmented, and have some beautiful colors actually. The chisel nib is nice for coloring large spaces, but you got to get used to it, especially if you're used to using the Copic marker chisel nib, because they're a different shape. From what I noticed, not a lot of people use bullet nib or chisel nib. Let me know down in the comments if you use a bullet nib or a chisel nib. Personally, I do use the bullet nib and the chisel nib. Obviously, the bullet nib I use for small areas or hard to reach little areas. But the chisel nib, I try not to use it because every time I use it, it's hard to get a flat color. Without multiple layers anyways. In my personal experience, I have never really gotten flat colors using the chisel nib of a Copic marker. Only rarely when it comes to like smaller spaces, yeah. But with bigger spaces, it's difficult because they can't reach certain crevices. So I have to go more slower, but then the ink starts drying and they leave streaks. It actually has been quite a while since I drew traditionally. Ever since I got the iPad and learned Procreate, I have never gone back. I have done digital art before, but my computer was so crappy and slow that I was almost unable to do any digital art. It took a lot of patience to even do one piece of art. which is kind of sad because I got a Hyun for my birthday and I really wanted to use it. But when I get a new computer, then maybe we'll see. As you probably can notice from my sketching process that my anatomy and sketching is not at 100%. Going from traditional to digital and then back to traditional feels kind of different. I don't care what anyone says, digital art requires certain skills because it's not easy. It's a learning curve, just like traditional art. For this piece, I decided to try to draw my OC, who still doesn't have a proper name, but I call her Yakuza because it sounds kind of cool, and that's the first name that kind of pops up when I look at her. Damn, these poses are really stiff. I apologize that you have to see that. I'm really cringing right now just by looking at it. You can tell that I'm not very comfortable drawing traditionally, at least with traditional mediums anyways. I did my best and pushed through it. I was also dealing with art block as well, so I was not feeling like I was up to drawing that day. But don't worry, it gets better later on. I finally settled on her holding her mask in front of her, but peering or peeking from behind it. I do want to stick to as close to her color palette as I can, but I do have one issue, and that is the skin tones. The range of the skin tones are interesting colors, and it opens up to like unique skin tones and all that. But for the first time ever, I encountered a marker set that doesn't have a light skin tone, which is not bad, but I'm not used to it because I usually get Copic markers, which I get a fair range of skin tones between like light and dark and mediums. So I'm kind of have to work around the skin tones right now. To top it off, this set does not come with a colorless blender either, so I'm gonna have to see what I'm going to do. Even with the range of colors that I currently have, I was able to find colors suitable for my character. As a solution that I thought of for the skin, I brought in my color pencils. I'm not super great with color pencils, but it does solve my issues for now. I was thinking as I was editing this video that I should have pulled out my Copic markers for this drawing so the whole piece could be alcohol marker related. But realistically, this is how I would use the markers, and I was also in a color pencil mood. I do give props to artists who only use markers because it's pretty hard to make sure to get the colors right with like multiple of these materials. Just hundreds of markers is around you, you have to choose the right color. I guess every supply does require practice to master, which I do not do often. I kind of jump here and there between materials. I'm the type of artist who kind of gets bored easily, so I kind of just jump between them or just use multiple of them in one piece so I get the result that I want. I was getting pretty nervous because I have not touched alcohol markers in a little over a year because, you know, new iPad, so I was doing a tons of digital art. You probably can tell by the amount of white space that I left while coloring it in because I was too scared to fully go through with it. Color pencils saved the day until I realized that the markers don't layer over pencil. Artists who use marker a lot or pencil are probably yelling at me right now. Sorry about that, but I managed around it luckily, so it wasn't too bad. Well, that's it for today. I hope you liked this alcohol marker review. I'm not the best, but I won't get anywhere without trying. Overall, I would recommend these markers. It's not something to die for, but if you see it, grab it up to give it a try. Until next time, and remember to be kind kings and queens. Bye bye.